This is Mick and the Phatman, and we're talking life and music from the 60s through to the noughties. Well, welcome everybody to Mick and the Phatman Talking Music. We are coming to you live from the Riverwood Legion Club. Mick and I are down here in the snooker room, and Mick has just had a very, very nice run as just about to pot the pink. He did some amazing theatrics to pot the brown earlier, but he's just murdered the blue, and I can see the black rolling into the pocket as we speak. Well done, Mick. That was a good run.
Mate, it was a good run. I had to keep playing because I called for a taxi and they just do not come here.
No, that's right. No, well, you think a Legion cab would come to the Legion Club, wouldn't you?
Well, that was what I foolishly thought.
Yeah, no,
I was wrong.
No, but it's good to be back down here in the snooker room, isn't it, mate?
It's probably one of the best snooker rooms in the whole southwest of Sydney.
That's right, and it's quiet. That's what I love about it. It's really quiet.
There's no one here.
No one here. We can do our stuff. But it was a great game. Thank you very much, and you really took me out big time, mate. What have you been listening to this week?
I told you I was going to find something really unusual, and I've been listening to something that's so far out of my comfort zone. It was given to me by what's the correct term for your nephew's wife? Is it
nothing?
Niece-in-law or nothing?
I think it's nothing.
Okay, so I've been talking to nothing about
nothing formal. Put it that
nothing.
Way.
Okay.
Just a human.
Oh, okay. Well, I was having a chat with Letitia, and she was telling me about a female artist born in Virginia. Brought up in Virginia of U.S. and Colombian parents, and she's a singer. She's got a really interesting voice. She's got all sorts of rap and R&B and whatnot influences, but the bits I really like about what she's singing, or when she's singing, is she sounds like she's singing in a nightclub in Havana. You know, with that lovely sultry voice. She's not so po-faced and serious. She sings, obviously with a name like that and a background like that, she's got Latino background, and she sings one song in that faux accent. You know, what are you talking about? You know, and that's really interesting. I don't like so much the R&B, the way that R&B is interpreted these days. You know, it's all a bit overproduced and thanks very much. But certainly the other stuff, I could have a very pleasant evening sitting down with a couple of nice cognacs and listening to her.
And a cigar, should you take up smoking again?
Should I indeed? Yes,
because that'll be good. Well, that's great. I've been doing a bit of space trucking. I've been listening to Made in Japan by Deep Purple.
Oh, dear.
What a ripper. What a bloody ripper. So this double album was recorded in Festival Hall Osaka and Budokan in Tokyo. And interestingly, no overdubs, 2 albums, a total of 7 songs. Space Truckin', the last song, goes for an entire side of the album. Now that's what I call a rock song. And if you remember, Deep Purple, Ritchie Blackmore lead guitar. Was he the best guitarist ever? This was always a discussion. Who was the better guitarist, Ritchie Blackmore, Jimmy Page? Who knows?
Fairly obvious.
Well, gee, there was discussions that were had.
There certainly was a lot of discussion. I don't think there's much argument that the Blackmore was the fastest.
Oh, gee, there's some... if you want to hear a fast guitarist, listen to Al Di Meola.
Okay.
It's like a machine gun. I don't know that it's good, but if you want to hear a fast guitarist, Al Di Meola is more of a classical guitarist, but he also does a bit of sort of semi-rock sort of stuff as well, jazz more likely. Yep. Ritchie Blackmore, Ian Gillan with those screaming, howling vocals. Roger Glover, bass player, good bass player. And I think the instrument that really stood out for Deep Purple was John Lord on the organ, and that really had a absolutely rip-roaring sound.
Tell you, the drummer was pretty good too, Ian Pace.
Ian Pace was a corker of a drummer, better than Moon? Don't know. Don't know. I'd put it out there.
That's an argument that's never ever going to be settled. I don't think it's
No.
It's a bit like the sporting. Who was the best rugby league player, or who was the best racehorse? I think it depends on who you were brought up with.
That's right. So if you want to get yourself, I mean, this is a very strong band live. In fact, a lot of their recorded material really was, I don't know, wasn't very rocky. Didn't seem to me compared to this live album. Absolutely ripper. Have a listen to it. You've got space. I'll just go through the 7 songs. Highway Star, 6 minutes 45. Sweet Child in Time, 12 minutes.
Highway Star, is that the one where he has a call and response? His Gillan's voice with Blackmore's guitar.
Yes. That's right. Then Smoke on the Water. Well, they all went down to Montreux on the Lake Geneva shoreline, if you remember.
I do remember indeed.
And Frank Zappa and the Mamas had the best place in town. Some stupid with a flare gun burned the place to the ground.
Imagine that.
Yeah, some stupid. The Mule, 9 minutes. Strange Kind of Woman, 9 minutes. Lazy, 10 minutes. And then Space Truckin', 20 minutes. 20 minutes of pure joy.
Yeah, you can't go wrong.
So
certainly the Sex Pistols were wrong when they said that rock and roll had got overblown with all of these long solos.
Not true. Because realistically, you could have fitted 25 minutes on the side of an album back in the day, and they only went to 20 minutes and 2 seconds. So
restraint, great restraint.
5 minutes. They could have had 5 minutes more of fun and exhilaration, couldn't they?
Wow.
So there's one. I'll link the album up on the as a playlist for you to have a look at. So if you want to listen to a bit of good old fashioned live rock and roll from 1973, I think it is 1973 thereabouts. Enjoy Deep Purple live in Japan. So Mick, I could see you there opening the Globite school bag. What's down the bottom of there for us to look at?
Mate, I rifled around there with the old hands, and look what I pulled out. Lou Reed's Early Years.
Oh, early years. Now, what would we call an early year for Lou Reed? What, 73?
Yeah, from the time he left Velvet Underground in the early 70s through to about 74.
Okay, so I'll give you I'll give you some top albums in 73 just for a bit of fun. There's Slade by Slade. There's Slade Alive by Slade.
I'm getting a bit of a theme here.
There's Black Sabbath Volume 4. We've said this before, and we do come back to it every now and again. Paraboraman by Brian Cadd. We must put that. We must link that album somewhere for people to have a listen to and really get a good dose of that. There's the Tommy live album. Oh no, I don't think it is a live album. I think it's still a recorded album. We've spoke about that before. Hot August Night is in there, of course, and what's the other one there? Oh, Gary Glitter, Touch Me. Don't think I'll be wanting to touch Gary Glitter somehow.
No. It certainly wouldn't be the first time he'd said that.
No, I think it's more of a statement of intent rather than anything else. So that's some of the albums there. We'll see some of those on the Made in Japan, of course, as I was talking about before. Made in Japan's in there on the top 25 albums, and Houses of the Holy by Zeppelin. In the top singles, there's tie Yellow Ribbon Round the Old Oak Tree.
Tony Orlando and Dawn. Fantastic.
What a great song. It never ceases to amaze me that got to number one, because it's just such a great song.
It actually amazes me that great songs get to the top 40.
It is amazing because Ben's in there. Remember Ben?
Oh, yes.
Michael Jackson?
It's from a horror movie by the name of Willard about a rat.
That's it. But I think the song came first, didn't it?
The song was about Ben the rat in the movie Willard.
Is that right?
Yep.
Ben, the two of us need look no more.
That's right. We've both found what we're looking for.
That's beautiful, isn't it? It's a rat. But do you remember the Monster Mash?
With Bob Bobby Boris Pickett and the Crip Kicker 5. I think we've trotted these two out before.
Let's move on. So let's talk about Lou Reed. Line us up. What are we talking about with Lou Reed, Mick?
Okay, Lou Reed, early 70s. Lou Reed had come straight out of the Velvet Underground. Now, he left the Velvet Underground because probably they were coming too nice. They'd gone from a very, and you recall a couple of episodes ago we talked about how gritty and grimy and nasty Velvet Underground and Nico was, and their song structures had continued for the first couple of albums in that vein, and then they started to become more poppy, and Reed got bored with that.
Yeah. Probably started to make money and thought, hello, what's going on
I'm
here?
out of here. Yeah, absolutely. I'm leaving this. So in the early 70s, Reed left the Velvet Underground. At that time, he was a fringe musician. He was well regarded by critics and those in the know, and that's a very small group, as you would know, but he wasn't commercial.
No.
He wasn't making money. He was still struggling.
And understandably.
Yeah. And the Velvet Underground, had ended up expiring in a huge puff of apathy from the record listening public.
Yeah.
I
like that expired in a puff of apathy.
Yes, indeed. He released a self-titled album called Lou Reed. Funnily enough, that's what self-titled tends
smart.
to be.
Don't know how he came up with that.
Yeah. I think that focus group and workshopping is what did it there. And that first album contained a lot of reheated versions of unreleased Velvet stuff, and some things that he'd been tooling around with. And as is the way of many of the albums that we've talked about, it had Rick Wakeman on it.
Good old Ricky boy.
Yeah. So Rick gets quite a bit of a Guernsey. Rick was like a couple of people in the early 70s. It was everywhere.
I mean, you have to admit he is a good keyboard player. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much you can listen to Rick Wakeman.
Did somebody say pompous?
Yeah, but nonetheless, he can. And really, he had a lot of synthesizers too, didn't he?
He did. Absolutely.
You can make a U-shaped kitchen out of synthesizers.
I think he did. Wasn't that on the cover of one of his records?
It was on the rear cover. It was on the rear cover of Six Wives of Henry VIII. It's on the front of Journey to the Centre of the Earth with his cape, because he's always got a sparkly cape on.
Yep. He had the cape on, and over onto his left-hand side was the shelf, and it had the kettle, a couple of tea towels hanging off a rack.
That's right.
It was all there.
Yep. Keyboard here, pot there, you could make a cup of tea. So he's there going, make it a cup of tea.
Well, that's what he did, and that's what passed for multi-talented back in those days.
That's right. Not only did he do pianos, he did lots of keyboards, and he made a damn fine cup of tea.
Yep. And that's enough of Rick Wakeman for today.
We move on from Rick. Thank you, Rick.
So the Velvet's versions of the songs on Lou Reed, they hadn't been released at the time, but they've cropped up on various compilations and formal releases of bits and bobs of what the VU have done over the years, and live albums, of course. So they turned up later, and they provided a lot more colour and given a much more favourable review of Lou Reed, the album.
Yep.
At the time, it was a bit ho hum. Yeah. What else you got? So that didn't do the job for young Lewis. But as he went, it actually established him as a solo artist, free from the confines of the Velvet Underground. And as he went along, in '72, he released the album Transformer, which
was transformational.
It was transformational, absolutely. And I think most people would be familiar with the album Transformer, and probably a whole lot of songs that are on it.
Yeah, because it's good.
Well, it's not my favourite Lou Reed album.
Yeah, it is.
It's mine. My favourite. Thanks, mate.
Because he's got good songs on there.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
And you know what's on there as well? Production. There's a bit of production on there.
Absolutely. Let's talk about that in some detail. We'll come to it in a moment. Now, around that time was glam. And look, I don't know why or how, or whether it was someone's brainiac idea to classify Lou Reed as glam. That's a big call.
Would have got into the goth status, so I would have thought, rather than glam.
Oh, God knows. Okay. And that association with glam for Reed was probably lazily because of his association with Bowie, right? Who did the makeup and the androgynous bisexual thing.
So was he mates with Bowie or what?
Reed, yes, he was. And you'll recall that on Bowie's album Hunky Dory, Bowie had just been over to New York before recording that, and actually acknowledged Lou Reed on the back of that album.
Did he?
With the song Queen Bitch, where he puts down some VU white light reflected with thanks.
Oh, there you go.
So there's a reference to Velvet Underground and obviously Reed there. They became good friends, and Bowie produced Transformer.
Bowie did?
Yeah.
Oh, didn't know he could produce.
Yeah.
Obviously he can.
He can, and he did.
There you go.
Okay. So Bowie, having already been influenced by Reed and the Velvet Underground in visits to New York, offered to produce, and Reed's management took that up, and Reed did obviously too, in association with Mick Ronson, who was Bowie's lead guitarist, who had quite a degree of studio experience.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Now Warhol comes into the picture again.
Oh God, what's he doing now?
Yeah. So Warhol, Reed continued his association with Warhol, who gave advice on the look for the album, and you can see that the front is a bit it's a distorted picture of Lou Reed, and then that gay drag collection of photographs on the back of the album.
Yeah.
Again, got controversy, and that's what Warhol specialised in, right? Getting controversy. That association between Warhol and Reed is highlighted. You've heard me mention before the album Songs for Drella, and
yep.
he recorded that with John Cale when Warhol died, and that was released in April 1990. And Drella was a nickname for Andy Warhol. It was a combination of Dracula and Cinderella.
Really?
Yeah, because some of the people in his inner circle felt that Warhol
sucked the blood.
Absolutely, well, sucked the life force out of people.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, and so it wasn't exactly a nice nickname.
Oh, okay, there you go.
It became nothing after a while, but that's where it started.
Right. Okay. So just back on that album.
Yep.
That front cover with Reed on the front cover, but on the back cover, there's the bloke dressed in that sort of that drag with there's a big dick in that photo.
Yep.
It's a really big dick.
And it's a really big dick-like object, also known as a banana.
Oh.
Now,
that'll do it.
I think you'd really be drawing a long bow if you wanted to drag that association back to the first VU album, Velvet Underground album. I don't think so myself. I think it's just that was fairly common sort of thing in New York. You talk about San Francisco as the gay capital of the world. Hasn't anybody ever heard of New York?
Oh,
it's really it's as much as, if not more, than San Francisco, particularly early in the piece.
And there was sort of this this quasi sort of look as the female. Is it a female or is it the bloke dressed up as a female? So the sort of gender bending type of thing.
Yeah. Well, that's and in fact, Reed had a relationship with a transvestite.
Did he?
Yeah, by the name of Rachel, who was a bloke at one point in his or her life.
Oh,
yeah,
didn't know that.
And
so was Reed gay?
Reed was a bit of everything, I think. Yeah, he was exploratory, and it's been argued by people who know him and them well that she was probably one of the closest relationships that he's had.
Rachel.
Yeah.
Oh, good on him.
Because
he got married, didn't he?
He did. He has several times. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
He can't afford to be married too many times, though, did he? Or did he not make money as he went on?
He was never rich.
Yeah.
Certainly well off, but certainly not rich. He's never going to have Led Zeppelin style money. Or never did have Led Zeppelin style money.
Okay.
So Transformer comes along, and part of the production of the album had Warhol's influence in the controversial aspect of it.
Yeah, certainly not the production phase.
No. Warhol never had any interest in the production of the music.
So he had much input into the production as he did in the Velvet Underground album.
Absolutely, yeah. Sing the songs with the dirty words. Yeah. But it was produced by Bowie and Mick Ronson.
Yep.
And Mick Ronson, very under-heralded, if you like, but he was very talented. Played a lot, and we've talked about Mick before when we talked about Ziggy Stardust. Yeah, he was he's done a lot of work and very popular. Bowie at the time, Bowie could do no wrong in Europe and in New York, which isn't America for overall, but in New York, Bowie could do no wrong.
Right.
He'd had Ziggy Stardust out at the time, and so it was almost logical for him to produce Transformer to give Lou Reed a commercial album, right? Which he, as we've discussed numerous times, hadn't had up to that point. So the album itself didn't vary much. It was produced well, with lots of depth and lots of sounds and experimentation of the sounds, but more conventional style songs, very approachable for the listener.
Yeah, it sounded good.
It did sound good, yes.
I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and no question at all about that. But lyrically, it was exactly the same as the first Velvet Underground album. Yeah. It was a walk through the seamy side of the New York fashion and art worlds. Lou Reed's always been very caustic about people, and some of the lyrics in some of the songs there, really nasty stuff. Really nasty.
Walk on the Wild Side is a ripper of a song, though, isn't it?
Walk on the Wild Side, I think, is just absolutely extraordinary. It's a great song, and he's done it numerous times. Not been covered by too many other people because it's so identifiably Reed, right? And the singing talking style of Walk on the Wild Side is, you can't escape from the fact that that's Lou Reed. I just wonder. I mean, that song has been used in ads. Recently, it was used in a car ad last year. I saw it on the TV, to Walk on the Wild Side. I thought, my God, do you advertising creatives actually listen to the words?
No, they wouldn't have, because it's too old.
Oh, yeah.
Because they'd all be young people, and they think, this is a good song.
Yeah. Oh, be a bit wild, eh?
Yeah, be a bit wild.
Yeah. Talk about drug addiction and drug dealers and transvestism and prostitution.
Head jobs.
Yeah, absolutely. All really good stuff to associate your car with.
This is a good car to have a head job in.
Yeah. Reed was always a keen observer of people, and all of his songs, even the throughout his whole career, he's been able to observe and capture things in a really pithy sort of way, and that's TH. There's one song there on Hanging Around, called Hanging Around, and it's on Transformer, and he talks about Junie, who's a spoilt young brat who thought she knew it all. She smoked mentholated cigarettes and had sex in the car.
There you go.
There you go. And that was one of the nicer descriptions in that song. So,
mentholated cigarettes. Do they still exist?
Don't know. I haven't had a mentholated cigarette for many, many years.
You used to be an Alpine boy, didn't you?
I did indeed. Long time since I've had a smoke at all, and that's a sign of the times, isn't it?
Yeah. Go on. Do go on.
Warhol, again, as friends do, he had a fight with Reed about Reed's content matter in the various songs, because what he felt was that Reed was mining his social set and his associates for content for his songs, not giving anything to Warhol, because Warhol wasn't rich back at that time. He was famous, but not the money turner that he is now after his death.
After he died.
Yeah. So he felt he should get something back from Reed, but didn't. So that was a bit of a split between the two of them.
It's interesting.
Yep. So Walk on the Wild Side, drugs, explicit sex, transvestism, it's all there. Yeah. Candy came from out on the island. In the back room, she was everybody's darling, even when she was given good head. Yeah, it's great stuff. The Sugar Plum Fairy came and hit the streets, shaved her legs, and then he was a she.
But hey, babe.
Yeah, it's all good stuff. So it's really great. Now, uncredited on that album, Bowie sings harmony on Satellite of Love.
Oh.
And that song's been covered by lots of people, including you too.
They did too.
They did indeed, yeah.
Now you mention it.
Yeah, but Bowie's nasal chorus singing on the original version Transformer, very obvious when you know what to look for or listen for.
So he's only credited for so Bowie's credited for acoustic guitar and Wagon Wheel and Walk on the Wild Side vocals.
Yep.
But no, that's interesting.
Yeah. But it doesn't really make a whole lot of difference, and I'm sure that if there was any pay to be had, he probably would have got that. But it's more a case of they were friends. So he's helping his friend out on the record, and that's not uncommon.
No, lots of people didn't get credited back in the day because they happened to be in a studio next door and they just wandered in and went la 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 lulu, and they didn't just happened.
Exactly right.
Yeah. Okay.
Other songs from Transformer that Reed performed all the way through his career. Vicious, which is a great song, and Perfect Day. So I've mentioned before the album One Perfect Night, which was a concert recorded from 1997 in London.
Oh yeah.
And both of those songs are slightly changed. Like there's a lot more emphasis on the bass guitar in Vicious as an introduction and a rhythm.
I love a good bass guitarist.
You can't go wrong with a good bass guitarist.
Who's the bass guitarist?
On this particular album, a fellow that you may or may not have mentioned before, Mr. Klaus Voormann.
Klaus.
Who mixed in the Beatles set.
And did the Revolver album cover.
He did indeed, yep.
And in fact, if you go online and look for Klaus Voormann, you can buy some of his artwork, including some of the variations of the Beatles Revolver album. Have a look on Klaus Voormann.
I think so. Have you got any commissions on those touts yet, mate?
No, tried. That's the second time. Haven't got a cent.
That's very disappointing. I bet you feel a bit like Andy Warhol.
I should go and buy one, shouldn't I? Just to give him a hand.
Exactly. Vicious. Now, you know the song in the line in Vicious, "Vicious, you hit me with a flower."
Mm-hmm.
That means nothing, because Warhol said, "Why don't you do a song called Vicious?" He says, "Well, what does that mean?" And Warhol said, "Well, you know, vicious, you hit me with a flower."
Really?
And that's where that came from.
Oh.
So a bit of nonsense lyrics in a song. Thank you, Andy Warhol.
Yeah, there you go. Give me a flower, do it every hour.
Yeah,
indeed.
indeed.
Also vicious.
Yep.
There you go.
Now, the band on the album, Bowie's the production wasn't Bowie's only contribution. Pretty much the band that played on Transformer was the Spiders from Mars.
Is that right?
Yep. Oh. Along with Klaus. And I think you've just mentioned Bowie played a bit of acoustic guitar. Bowie, Mick Ronson, and Trevor Bolder. So the guts of the Spiders from Mars were over in New York.
I just logged on to Wikipedia and I just see that the Thunder Thighs were doing backing vocals as well.
Yeah, a girls' group.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
What a great name, the Thunder Thighs.
Self-administered, so we can't get into trouble.
No. Thunder Thighs.
And that's what they called themselves. Now, that album for Reed was really successful. As you know, there's very few people in our age group who either didn't have the album or weren't familiar with the album. And even today, it's still a strong seller for Reed's estate. Reed, of course, has passed on.
He used to play it a lot in our circle.
Yeah. Reed himself was happy for the success, not happy for the box that it put him in.
Yeah, and he was making too much money.
No one ever complains about making too much money. But what Reed, being a contrary bugger, as he was right from the outset, he felt that being successful with an album like that locked him into a box of Lou Reed rockstar, and people had expectations that he didn't want to deliver to.
Right.
Again, it probably comes back to what you've somewhat facetiously said about his earlier work. Lou Reed was always contrary, never got on with journalists, always argumentative with people, with journalists, with musicians, as if musicians aren't people. But so he felt that it made him a bit of a cartoon character called Lou Reed, glam rocker. And he wasn't happy with that. Look, that's not the first time that I've heard this about musicians. They have a hit album that maybe been manufactured around them a little bit, and they feel locked in, not able to express themselves the way that they want to.
No, well, realistically, back in those days, record companies really had a lot of say in what you were doing. So unless you were totally independent, you kind of had to do what you were told. Yeah,
exactly right. Yep. So Reed then decided that he wanted to produce a grittier album, compared to his earlier stuff, a darker album. So he decided to tell a tale loosely based on two American drug addicts living in Berlin.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Silly me.
Well, look, put down on paper like that, it sounds pretty black, but it's not much different to the content that was on Transformer. He just put it a lot more up front there and wasn't wrapped in nice little ditties.
All right, go on.
So Reed.
Because I was listening to this album before and I'm thinking, geez Louise, this is hardcore.
Yeah. It's probably my favourite Reed.
Of course it
I know
is.
you're
Of
not
course
surprised.
Of course it is.
It is. And I'll talk in a minute about how it stood the test of time, probably more so than Transformer. But anyway, the album itself is not autobiographical because Reed didn't live in Berlin. But it drew on much that was happening to him. Right.
Not in Berlin, though.
No.
Yeah.
In that that drugs environment, he's on record as having his wife at the time, Betty. He was self-admitted. He hit her.
Oh, did he?
Yep. Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. He wasn't happy about it, but he admitted it.
Oh, okay. Regularly or just once?
On occasion.
Oh, God.
Certainly wasn't once only. And as the marriage was collapsing, that was what was informing Berlin.
Right.
So he highlighted the song. He tried to, and I think he did it well, highlighted that he wasn't singing about himself. He was telling a tale. And there's one of the songs which is called The Kids.
Oh, jeez, I listened to that. That's bloody depressing.
It is.
That is bloody depressing, that song.
It is. But the line in that song has been probably one of my favourite songs, lines in a Lou Reed song. And it says, "And I am the water boy. The real game's not over here. The story's happening over there and I'm just telling it."
Yeah.
So it's, but my heart is overflowing anyway. So yes, it is. It's pretty grim. And it was reviewed at the time. It didn't do well. Surprisingly, reviewers called it disappointing, too dark. Someone even called it a disaster.
So The Kids is about a woman who's a drug addict and a prostitute who has children taken away from her.
They're taking her children away. Because they said she was not a good mother.
Then followed by The Bed, which is about a woman who commits suicide in the bed.
Yeah.
And then a song called Sad Song, which has kind of got a really upbeat, jingly song, a tune to it. Anyway, when I saw
I think you've summed this album up quite well.
When I saw after I listened to The Kids, I'm going, oh Jesus Christ, this is depressing. Then The Bed, and I thought, oh, you've got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. And then I saw coming up as the next song called Sad Song. I said, how more fucking sad can it get?
Well, she killed herself.
God almighty. Anyway, look, your favourite album. Go for it.
It is. And it got reviewed accordingly, and which is what he wanted.
Right.
As an artist.
Job well done.
Yeah, job well done. And he's done that a few times in his career. And he says, this is what I want to do when it's something. And so he'd started to come back and started to get a few albums that work well together. So he released Metal Machine Music, which was an album of electronic drones.
That's awful, that album. It is awful.
It takes a bit of listening to just to get to I hate this. It's not my favourite Lou Reed album.
What was he thinking?
I'm going to do something that everyone's going to hate.
Job done. Tick.
Yep, he certainly did that. But Berlin, you're absolutely right. It's black, it's sad environment, so on and so on. But it's been his most consistent seller over the years. A fan base, his fans regularly rate it as his best. Certainly not unusual. There's no individual standout songs like there is on Transformer, Walk on the Wild Side.
And it gets into all the top 100 albums of all time as well.
Absolutely.
I don't think people listen to the lyrics myself because, geez Louise.
It's possible. I think it's hard to not listen to a Lou Reed song and miss the lyrics.
To be honest, you can hear his lyrics pretty easily, I must admit.
You mentioned Deep Purple. Now, you can ignore the lyrics because the lyrics were just there for how the words sounded in up against the music.
It's about the music. It's not about the words.
Absolutely. But Reed's lyrics are very clear, very explicit. He doesn't mumble.
No.
He's very, very clear. And he has some wonderful little bon mots in there, and an observation of people, and I love that. The album itself was revived for a concert at St Margaret's in Brooklyn, and in 2007.
What's St Margaret's?
Just a performance space, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And with a full orchestra and a choir.
Oh, yeah.
So the stuff that the production, and produced by Bob Ezrin, by the way. I'll come back to that one
Pink
in a moment.
Floyd.
Yep, absolutely. The Wall, you see a lot of similarities between The Wall and Berlin in terms of production sound.
Okay.
Yep. And then he took it. That was so successful, it sold out in a matter of click of fingers. Took it on tour in 2007, and in 2008 it made it to Australia. It played at the State Theatre, and I saw it. Mm-hmm. It was absolutely fantastic. It was the best rendition of any of those songs that I've seen. I've seen Reed quite a few times, and the choir and the orchestra were exactly the way that he'd envisaged the thing to be played back in '73. It really was, and a terrific vindication for his.
Was it just the album, or did he play other songs as well?
Oh, he had an intermission and then played some other songs as well, yeah. And
so he played the album and then he played other songs?
Yeah. Now, it did crest on the wave a little bit of artists coming back and singing their favourite song or their favourite album or their most successful album or the one their fans had all called for, and there's a lot of people doing that. John Cale did it, a lot of tours of Australia. Of other bands, and right at the moment my mind's gone blank as to who they are, but it certainly was. It was a big. Elton John did it.
The one thing that Reed can do, he can still sing the same as he used to right up until before he died. Yeah. Whereas you think of someone like Paul McCartney, he can't sing because he hits high notes and he can't do the high notes. And Reed never did any high notes, so that's quite handy, isn't it?
Reed's singing style was never about vocal quality.
Definitely not. No, and he got that 100% correct.
Yeah.
Not a bit of vocal quality in there.
Yeah, I must say, over the years of seeing him perform, I'd never noticed any deterioration or variations, negative variations.
No,
in his voice.
He went from mediocre to mediocre. No, he's not a great singer.
If you're listening to this and you're a Lou Reed fan, please post something to put Jeff in his box.
He's not a great singer, and as I
That's
said,
true. He says that.
If you go back to Velvet Underground, every now and again he's missing notes and stuff like that, and that's the thing. Well, we shouldn't really go too much on Velvet Underground, but that Velvet Underground album, because
Velvet Underground is inextricably Reed. You must.
That's right. So they did that album. The first one in I don't know, a few days or hours, whatever it was. So realistically, there were no retakes. So whatever the vocal quality came out, it came out. So if it was flat, it was flat. If it was whatever it was just like that.
In fact, you're quite right, because if you listen to one of the Nico songs on Velvet Underground and Nico, you can actually hear the distortion as a voice is too close to the mic.
Yeah. Whereas if you had some production, had a proper producer there, they'd say, do that song again. But they didn't do that. And I guess, there's a bit of rawness there and all that sort of stuff, but I would have preferred them to do it again. It might be a bit better.
Well, in terms of production, they had Bob Ezrin, who was probably the ultimate producer in the US of major albums and hit albums at that time, in the early 70s. Right. I mean, look at the stuff that he did. Welcome to My Nightmare, Alice Cooper. The Wall, Pink Floyd, and lots of other things. He did a lot of Kiss's most successful work.
Oh, did he?
So he was very, very popular producer, and he was in fact the driver of this song. The song Berlin appeared on an earlier Reed album, and Bob Ezrin says to Reed, I want to know what happened to those characters in Berlin by the Wall.
Okay.
So he said. So that's one of the drivers that prompted Reed to actually write the whole story.
Yeah, there you go.
So musicians on Berlin, man, they had the cream of musicians in the US there. They had Steve Hunter and Dick Wagner. You couldn't pick up a record in the early 70s that didn't have Steve Hunter and Dick Wagner on it. Yeah, they were terrific.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, rock and he kept them with him as he toured this particular album under the name of Rock and Roll Animal.
Yep. Yeah.
And Steve Hunter and Dick Wagner also toured with Alice Cooper and did a lot of particular particularly did a lot of Alice Cooper's early stuff. $1 Billion Babies. And that's got a lot of really solid guitar sound. But I remember when I saw Alice Cooper in the mid-'70s at the
Showground.
At the Showground, yep, thank you very much. They were a match set. So they were playing together, playing off each other, playing in unison, playing in contrast. When they toured with Cooper in the 70s, he had a big screen that was a bit like the fly screen that you see on fish and chip shops.
Yeah.
And so they had a picture projected onto that screen to make it look like it was the stage. And the artists, including Cooper, would walk through that so to make it look as if they'd walked through a wall to appear on stage. So the two of these two guys come through these... These two guys came walking onto the stage dressed in matching Matrix-like full-length coats and played their solo there.
So when would that have been, you reckon?
75?
Okay.
76 maybe?
Yep. Oh, it's interesting.
Yeah, and that was a highlight of that particular concert for me. And those two were a part of the attraction of Rock and Roll Animal. And they added that rock guitar style to Heroin. So instead of Rock and Roll Animal is the album after Berlin.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So you get instead of that semi-acoustic start to Heroin that's on the original album, you had Hunter and Wagner really just giving it everything, giving it a real blast.
Right. Okay. Very interesting.
So I saw Reed quite a few times in the 80s, 90s, and up to the Berlin live show in 2008.
In Australia? Did you
in Australia. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't get overseas to see him. Never failed to impress. I always thought that he did a great show. However, even on stage, he was still nasty to people. He always had something caustic to say about somebody or something, anybody really. And I don't know what had pissed him off when he played in Sydney, but he introduced the song Small Town as, here's the song for you, Sydney. Yeah. So thanks, Lou. Yeah.
As I said, he's like an enigma, isn't he? Like I tour a lot because, I appreciate my fan base and obviously enjoys it.
Yep.
But just a grumble bum.
Pretty much, yeah. You'd like to think that he matured later on, but I don't think he did.
No.
With certain people, he married Laurie Anderson, the performance musician performance artist who did Oh Superman many, many years ago. Doesn't matter. So he married her and they stayed together for many, many years until he died. And
because she came out with him to the Vivid Festival, didn't she?
That's exactly right. Yes, yeah. So you'd like to think he was a little happier in himself later on with her because that lasted so long.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no means of knowing.
Probably lived in separate houses.
Well, yeah. So she didn't have to have too much to listen to his grizzling.
Or listen to Metal Machine Head or whatever it's
but
called.
when you think about someone like Lou Reed from the 1960s through to his death in 2013, that's 50 years. Yeah. What an extraordinary body of work has he built up. It's not easily topped by anybody, American or otherwise.
No, he's got some good songs in there.
There are people you can say are as good as or as comprehensive or have a wide catalogue or body of work, but not a lot of people that you would say are better, even allowing for the fact that a lot of people don't like his pseudo singing style.
What about Ringo Starr? He doesn't sing very well either. He's got a big body of work.
Does he? Peace out, man. So, look, Reed, when he went to uni, or to college as they call it in the States, he was impressed by the fellow who became his mentor, who was a poet, a fellow by the name of Delmore Schwartz, who advised Reed a lot on how he should be going about things. And I think he was a big influence on Reed's difficulty in getting on with people. Yeah, because I understand Schwartz was a bit like that as well.
Oh, so he taught him how to be a grumble bum.
I think he did, yes, yeah. And then Schwartz died of alcohol poisoning, which is not an unusual thing for poets.
No, not poets. No, they do that a lot.
So, but I saw a documentary about Berlin 20, 25 years ago. and Reed was asked if he thinks that Delmore Schwartz would be proud of him, and Reed smiled, a little smile, not a big, huge yay smile.
He probably can't do a big smile.
I wouldn't think so, no. But a small smile, and he said, "Yeah, I think so." And that was the end of the documentary. It was really good. I haven't been able to find it since, but it was very good. And it went into Berlin and the environment and the circumstances of recording it quite a bit, and the resistance that Reed got to the album for some of the reasons that we've touched on today. Now, a lot of the stuff that we've talked about here today, talking about a whole lot of people, it comes from books. People. And Reed in particular has got a lot of books written about him because of the nature of who he is. But there's one person in particular, a English-born New York journalist called Victor Bockris, Bockris.
Right.
And he was with them right from the start, and he wrote a book called Uptight, The Velvet Underground Story, which was written in a series of anecdotes and quotes from people who knew them. So he got right in at the ground level and talked to everybody. He then wrote another book, which I found probably one of the best rock books that I've ever read, called Transformer.
Right.
Funnily enough, it was about Lou Reed.
Oh, yeah, who would have thought?
Yeah. But Bockris also wrote another book with John Cale called What's Welsh for Zen, which also touched on the same period that we're talking about now. Right. Well, Cale's Welsh, and
I get it.
He's aggressively Welsh.
Yeah, no, I get it. God, you've read some weird books.
Yeah, sorry. So Bockris wrote that with Cale.
Good old Bockris.
Yeah, so if you're looking
for a Bockris book,
if you're looking for a book about this time period, about these artists, really look it up. You'll be able to find him online.
Mick will put it up on the show notes too.
The name and the contacts and
the Bockris trilogy.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And look, a little quote from Victor Bockris says, and again, they all wax lyrical about Andy Warhol. So, for what that's worth, Andy taught us how to interview. Never have any questions ready. Treat it like a cocktail party. Which is an interesting way of going about things.
Didn't Warhol used to video his interviewers?
Yeah.
Just to, I don't know what happened. I wonder what happened to all those videos.
Well, I hadn't thought of that. Yeah. Look, and I don't think that was a contrary thing. I think it was he thought, well, this is art.
Yeah.
You're talking to me about art. You become the art.
Yeah, no, he probably did, but he didn't really make. Did he end up making much money towards the end?
I don't think he did.
No.
Look, when he was reduced to appearing on the Love Boat.
Did Warhol end up in the Love
Warhol
Boat?
was on the Love Boat as a passenger on the Love Boat.
Really?
Yep.
Got to find that episode.
Go find it. Yep.
That would be awesome.
And he certainly wasn't the most competent actor they've ever had on the show. Very stilted.
Most of the people on that show were competent actors.
By the standard of the Love Boat.
All right. Look, mate, we might call it quits. We've done Lou a pretty good going over today. So thank you very much. Don't know what we're doing for the next show, but we'll let you know at some point. So thanks for listening, folks. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. The links are on the show notes. And also hit us up on the email if you want to leave a comment, or I'd love to know your views on Velvet Underground. I'm sure everybody loves them. And also on Berlin. Also, there's a couple of check out the playlists that will be in the show notes as well, and rate us on Apple, but make sure you're nice. And Mick, what did you want to say?
Because, Jeff, I was just going to say one of the things we will do coming up in one of the few next episodes is talking about Australian bands. We'll talk about My Sex and the Angels and bands around them. So, because we've had a few comments from people, from listeners who've said, give us some more Australian local content. And I think that's a terrific idea. We were there. We went to see all the shows. So, yeah, we can talk about those.
All right. We can give the pretentious shit a bit of a rest for a bit. What do you reckon?
Well, I've got more pretentious shit coming up. We've got Genesis coming up, haven't we? Back when they were good.
Yeah, I know.
But tell us what you want, guys.
Yep. Do it on the... jump on Instagram. That's an easy place to find us. But Facebook page, any of your comments there, we'll read them there as well. Thanks very much, everybody, and we'll see you next time.